Hello, I am Anna Orr on behalf of OROMIA11 with another episode of Community Connections. Today's guest works with the Capri Theater to bring a special partnership with Best Buy and I Create. His name is Chuck Smith, and you won't want to miss this. Stay tuned. Welcome to another episode of Community Connections. Today's guest is Chuck Smith. Can you introduce yourself and just let us know what your role is with the Capri?
Yeah, my name is Chuck Smith, like you said. I am the manager of the Capri Best Buy Team Tech Center in North Minneapolis.
Can you talk to me a little bit about what the Capri Best Buy Team Tech Center is doing in our community?
So the Capri Best Buy Team Tech Center, to give you the full understanding of what it is, the Tech Center is a space that Best Buy has funded with the Clubhouse network that originated out of Boston, but now there's I want to say well over somewhere between 30 and 40 across the country, and there's about 50 around the world if we want to total them all out. And Best Buy is the headquarters of Best Buy is actually in Minnesota, and so I think there's 6 in the Twin Cities area, and ours is one of them. So, and they're basically catered to youth around the ages of like basically from first grade to 12th grade. But the Teen Tech Center, so you have to be a teenager to be a part of my program. But that's around 13 to 19, and I take it upon myself to educate teens about tech, whether it be coding, whether it be robotics, whether it be camera work, whether it be even music production, things like that. Our tech center is equipped with Adobe Suite products where you take what you learn from a camera or audio or even something like this that we're doing today, and you learn how to engineer it or create it or even make graphic designs to make like a cool title or things like that. So it's a variety of things that we have in our tech center. So,
Chuck, can you talk to me just a little bit about how you became interested in tech? Because there aren't a lot of African Americans in tech. I just was looking at an article the other day from Forbes, a 2021, I believe, article about the people of color in tech. And it was saying that the number is somewhere in the ballpark, I believe, of 7.4% is Black people. Now, I don't think people really recognize that number when we hear 7.4%, but only 13% of our United States population is considered Black.
Right.
So to think about 7.4%, it's like we don't see a lot of people across those different disciplines you just mentioned, the recording industry, people that are doing things in Adobe as well as EA Sports with gaming and things like that. So can you kind of share with me how you became a young Black man in tech?
So I've always been interested in video production. Even in like high school, I used to use I had a laptop that my mom got me, and it had a video engineering software on it. It was like really generic. It was really like demo-ish. So it was like only like a certain things you can do. But I like would take. That's when like cameras on phones were like becoming a thing, and so I would like take the video that I made on my phone and like put it in the camera and try to like edit it as best as I could. But it was really limited, and so I didn't have anywhere else to go. And so I use resources like the YMCA that's on Broadway in North Minneapolis.
Shout out to the Y on Broadway.
Yeah, and so and that's kind of where I learned how to. That's where I really learned about computers and engineering music. JT and Ralio, shout out to them. But they like taught me how to like engineer inside of Pro Tools, which is like
very, very difficult.
Yeah, they taught me how to engineer inside of Pro Tools and things like that. But still, that's not even what got me into tech. That's what kind of like made me interested in computers. What got me into tech is when I went to college and studied broadcast journalism, and I had to put like news packages together, and I had to learn how to. My previous knowledge of computers, I knew how to kind of engineer stuff, and like from there my interest grew. So I was doing news packages, and as I'm doing news packages inside Adobe Premiere, which is which is a part of the Adobe suite, I started realizing like I can make like short films, and like the principles that I'm learning how to do like news packages, I can literally transfer to make short films, or I can literally make music videos. I can literally just, and once you kind of learn one software in Adobe, you kind of like, it's kind of easy to carry them on to other, like Adobe After Effects or Adobe Illustrator or whatnot. The principles are very similar. Of course, they do different things, but that's kind of how I got started. I like broadcast journalism, but I realized that there's a lot of other things that I can do inside of what I'm learning. And so from then on, I got my degree in media communications and in film. And so I literally just hustled and made people want to hire me to do what I do. And
right.
Make sure that everything's like appropriate and business friendly, and carry yourself as a professional and all that stuff. That's how you get to places. But learning how to do something and learning how to be a professional, once you can marry the two, that's kind of how I got started into being involved in tech. So
now we talked about the Best Buy partnership that you guys have. That brought the Teen Center to you guys. Can you talk about the impact Best Buy has had in being a partner with you guys in doing this work, and how that's increased your reach, or has it, for the community in which the Capri serves?
For sure. Best Buy's job isn't to increase the reach in terms of like get kids into our program, because that's our job. But what they have done and what they do around the world is like, so our tech center is basically everything that we have in there. It has 8 times out of 10, they donate all the equipment. So like, they donated all the cameras, they donated all the computers, they donated all of the software that we use. They donated all the speakers that we have.
So they provided so much equipment, and with your knowledge married together, you guys have been able to really start to teach kids in a way that I'm sure a lot of the school systems haven't been able to do. I know that when I was going to school and I was learning about radio and television as well as journalism, and dabbling in radio back in high school, a lot of the equipment we had was outdated, which limited your scope on being able to not only receive an education, but it also limited your learning and your hands-on ability to kind of start to tinker or mess around with things, like you were saying about the videos on your phone and then transferring that to your computer and starting to play with that. It starts to limit if you don't have the proper equipment. So I'm grateful to hear that Best Buy provided you guys with all of the equipment, which isn't an easy feat, I'm sure. Not on their end. Well, I'm sure it's easy for them because they're a tech company, but you know what I mean? To try and figure out, what did you say, it's upwards of 60 across the state right now? Or 60 different programs? 40?
So there's, I want to say there's 6 or 7 in the Twin Cities area, but around like the country, there's maybe like 50, something like that.
And how many are located in North Minneapolis? Are you aware?
If you count downtown, 3.
Okay.
If you count downtown, 3.
I'm trying to think of the footprint, basically for kids that are in the area that are trying to navigate, how do I plug in if I'm not near the Capri? Is there an alternative one I can actually attend?
The Capri Theater, which is right off of Broadway and Penn, right next to KMOJ. And Summit Academy, which is off of Olson Memorial Highway over north, and then the downtown library.
Okay.
There's one located in there. And then I believe there's 2 in St. Paul. There's one in West St. Paul, and I'm not sure what the other one is, but there's 2 in St. Paul, and there are 2 in South Minneapolis, one off of Franklin and Nicollet?
Okay.
I want to say Franklin and Nicollet. I think so. No, Franklin and Portland. I'm sorry, Franklin and Portland. And there's another one in the Richfield area.
Okay.
So like Richfield is still considered Minneapolis if you take away a few blocks, but so there's some in that area.
Outside of what you shared about wanting to tinker around, so to speak, with the phone and then starting to learn things in computer and things like that, as a kid, prior to you going off to college, was there something that you said, I think I can do this. I can be a part of the tech community, or I have an interest in tech. I know that there are so many, I'm sure kids aren't thinking right off the bat, I want to be in technology, but that they have an interest in maybe gaming, or
Right.
maybe in playing around with drones, or maybe something, along those lines that's starting to point to, I have an interest.
I will say that when I first understood that I was that I was interested in like tech, or like interested in engineering or anything like that, I realized that I was very intimidated, because a lot of people that I was considerably competing against, or even like colleagues or anything like that, like they have it at home, because once you get to a certain level and you don't have much but you're interested in the area, and you get to a certain level where you're like, you made it through the door, but now you have to
now the real work begins.
Yeah, now you have to kind of win, right?
That's it.
And so now I'm trying to win, and it's not a competition, because everyone can win, but there's a certain level of winning that you have to win to get, right? So
I don't know if people actually understand what you're saying, but I hear it absolutely clearly.
Yeah. So it's intimidating, because when there's an assignment that we have to do, and I have to take detours to get to, to complete the assignment, whether you can just go straight through the highway. Like when I'm competing against someone who actually has the equipment at home. Like, for example, I had a cell phone and a computer with a demo version of a video editor, when opposed to a kid who actually had the software that he was able to create these masterpieces off of. That's kind of the world that I jumped into unknowingly, and so it does get intimidating. For example, when I graduated, I couldn't get a job. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's because of my skills, or whether because they were just timid to hire me because they've never heard of me before, because I didn't grow up doing this already. And so I literally had to work my way up. I started off being a teacher at Washburn for 2 years prior to getting this job with the Capri and Best Buy. But I didn't get hired as a teacher. I got hired as a security monitor first. Wow. I had to work my way to being a teacher. So, and I just had to really just put myself out there and do a lot of work with no pay, and eventually, it's starting to pay off. There's still a lot of things that I want to do and that I have to do, but it's starting to pay off. So it is not easy, but I am grateful for the position that I have, because the equipment that I wish I had is actually there.
Right.
And it's there for the taking. Of course, we're not open 24/7, but through the certain hours that we are open, you are more than welcome to come in and learn stuff. And we're not a program based place. We do programs we have programs coming up, but usually it's like a community center kind of, so you can come and hang out, do homework. Of course you have to obey and go by the rules and be respectful, but you can come if you can come in and just do homework if you want to, you know what I mean? So that's a great place for the community to come in.
So currently, you were saying that you guys have, during the hours in which you guys operate, so you guys are open Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, correct? And the only requirement is that you are registered to be a part.
Yes.
Is that correct, according to the website?
Yeah, so you have to register to be a part, and you have to get your parents or guardians permission, especially if you're under 18.
So the age group you guys are currently dealing with is what?
It's 13 and 19.
Thank you. I didn't want to lead anyone astray. And they show up with their kids and they're not able to participate because they watched the program and they found out it's the wrong information. Can you just share with me a little bit about how your family had supported your interest in tech? I know, there's so many kids who are home right now, right? Playing on the video game or about to be when school gets out, and they're in the basement for hours on end, but the parents don't necessarily see an end in sight for that. Is that a pastime? Is that actually going to be lucrative and sustainable for them as a career path? Or is this just something that's fun for them? Right. So I want you to kind of speak to how your family, how to help you navigate some of that, or you felt you had to go it alone.
Yeah. So thankfully, my family just wanted me to be interested in something that was excited for me to like do something, especially something very productive and very like good, you know, so that was a good thing for me. And you mentioned something about gaming. Gaming is actually one of the most like profitable like markets to be in like right now, and that's like across almost that's competitive to like anything. It's a multi-billion-dollar like industry right now, right? So gaming is, you know, spending all day on the game. Of course, you know, some people might think that's like not, you know,
they find it frivolous.
Yeah, right. But with the proper guidance, like in which we do have like gaming stuff and gaming programs, we don't have many youth that are interested in gaming, or probably, you know, they don't understand like what we can do with it. But if more youth came into me and said, "Hey, we're interested in gaming," we can definitely provide a program. We're in talks with some people that want to do that. We just need the youth to do it, to actually guide them and show them how to make a career out of it and actually make money by gaming and getting in tournaments and whatnot. Like we have like PlayStations and Xboxes at the Capri. You know what I mean? So like if they want to do it, besides like just coming in and just playing games all day,
there's a proper channel for them to kind of
take
that.
there is. Of course, like I said, it needs to be guidance, and gaming is not my industry, so I can't do that, but I can do what I can to contract someone to come in and like teach that.
That's wonderful.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but as far as my family has been supportive in, you know, everything that I do. Of course I've been disciplined and whatnot to do like certain things like correctly and like with morals and principles and stuff like that. But yeah, support has never been like the question for me.
So how did your parents or parent basically help you navigate when you said, okay, I'm making the pivot from broadcast journalism from school to I'm going to go to Washburn now that I'm not able to find a job, and I'm going to do some security stuff? Because I think oftentimes, you know, you go to school for one thing, and then as you kind of go along in your educational process, or even once you're done sometimes, you have to start making pivots. And I don't necessarily know that our elders always understand what that looks like for us, because during the time when they were coming up, it was you get a good job, you work that good job, and you stay. So I just want you to talk a little bit about how you navigated the pivot from once you realized I'm not able to do what I want to do right now, which so many of us who work in media have had to do. Excuse me.
So I almost didn't graduate from college, just being honest and transparent.
I appreciate it.
I almost didn't graduate, and not saying like I couldn't or I got kicked out of school or anything. That's not what happened. But I just was overwhelmed, and I understood what was going on. Like I said, I didn't think I was going to be able to find a job. I couldn't find a job, and it was coming on the last year, and my internships weren't even like, they just didn't do anything for me, right? In terms of what I wanted. And so when I made the switch, because I realized I just didn't want to do broadcast journalism, which is still fun. I still would love to do it, but I know that's
I'm enjoying it.
Right. I just know like that's not what my heart is. I can do it maybe like for a year, but after that that's not my career. I don't want to do that for a career, right? And so I made the switch, and which was fine, and I knew what I had to do. I think what my mom specifically was comfortable with and supporting me with is that I actually had a plan for it. Like, I knew that I could do like contract work. I had no aspirations to be a teacher, but I'm blessed in that regard to if I'm doing what I love, it will guide me to what I want to do.
That's powerful.
Yeah. And so once I got the job, because I wasn't trying to be a teacher. What I was trying to do is do the media program at Washburn, which I did, right? But I did it, and they liked it so much, they loved it so much that they were like, "Can you just like teach? Like, we'll work with you to get your license." And they did, and so that's how that happened. There was just a media job that I wanted, and I said, this is what I'm going to do to get it. And it took me a year to get it, because I got there and I did my security duties for a year, and then they moved me to that position, and after that they made me a teacher. So that's how that kind of happened. So I think what was comfortable for me and for her is that I had a plan that made sense. You know what I mean? And I said, if I am comfortable being a security monitor at Washburn, like I'm cool with that.
I think that's sound advice for kids that are about to graduate high school and or college, to embrace not only the pivot, but to also make a plan so that you aren't just out being pulled in any direction. And then also so that you can start focusing your efforts, so that you're making sure you're making moves that are aligning for what your end result is, your end goal is going to be, which is, I want to be in this industry.
For sure. And a lot of people think that when you make a plan and the plan doesn't go how you think it's supposed to go, that means the plan's not working, and that's not true. I'm going to speak for myself, but my plan was not to be a teacher, right? My plan was to, be a director of some sort, right? And not saying that I will never do that, but now I have a job where I can do that if I wanted to. If it, so a youth of mine came to me and she said she wants to do a short film. I said, great, we're going to start planning this month. And hopefully we start next month because she wants to shoot it in the summer. But that's like a thing, and I'm fine with that. I have no problem with that. Actually, I'm very excited for that. So the plan or the outcome of a plan that you have to look at it in a way where it's like, like, are you comfortable? Are your morals still intact? Are your principles still aligned? Things like that, because that's actually what matters at the end of the day. And I'm not trying to get this thing. Not trying to get in this thing where it's like, are you in it for the money? Are you in it for because you love it? Because money is important. Don't get me wrong, but it's also important to like appreciate what you do and appreciate the process in it, because you
and
can't
to have
get
some
that
personal
back.
fulfillment.
Yeah.
I absolutely agree with you.
For sure.
Now, we talked about the Capri and we talked about sound engineering, and when I hear that, I immediately, of course, think of Prince, and I think about his performance there so many years ago, and how many famous people have come through the Capri doing things with music. And I'm wondering right now, do we have the next Prince? Do we have the next, Flight Time, Jimmy Jam, Terry Lewis? Do we have the next big someone that is about to, be put on the stage next in your class right now doing something with sound engineering? And I don't know, maybe if you have someone like that right now or if they're coming, but I'm so excited to hear that it's going from, I remember when singing was, I guess, thought to be a hobby, more so of a hobby, something fun, but it wasn't a career path. So to hear that the Capri is fostering a program with the help of Best Buy, of course, to help kids navigate learning how to do sound engineering. Because I know so many people who love the music industry, but may not have the talent or gift for musicianship or to sing. And then they look like, well, I'll just keep playing the radio or CDs, and it's like, or, playing music. I guess I'm dating myself by saying CDs, and that's okay. But I think about it, and it's like, it's so exciting to hear that it's being taken a step further each and every year. I remember coming to a performance of the Glee Club that was at the Capri and enjoying it, and then thinking to myself, I wonder what else musically they have going on here. Can you talk a little bit about the sound engineering program and how that kind of is operating currently? Yeah,
so youth come in and make music almost anytime the studio's open. They I strongly encourage, because engineering is not easy.
Absolutely.
I wasn't comfortable with my engineering only after 5 years of doing it. That's when I got comfortable, and I started really taking it seriously maybe 17. So you're talking about 22, 23 is when I was like, oh, I actually think I got the hang of it now, right? So, and that's just me, and that's because I had other interests as well. So I wasn't strongly focused on it. So I mean, if you really are interested in it, I'm not saying it's going to take that long, but it takes a long time for your ear to understand how good something is through a frequency, not just being on key, but just understanding what it sounds like through the speakers, right? That's a whole different ballgame if you're talking about a sound, So, I don't know how. So music is so different now. I don't even know if we're as a world we're capable of having another Michael or Prince or Stevie or someone that can make a significant impact like that. Even Beyonce, right? Like, so it's funny that you say that, but we do have a lot of very talented people who youth that come in, like the 16-year-old girl who can blow, right? She can really sing, and she's interested, and she's coming back, and so she wants to learn. She wants to learn how to write. That's one thing that I really want to like help the youth like that come to me know. Like it's not about necessarily the sound, but I want you to understand what you're trying to say, because once you understand what you're trying to say, you're gonna understand how you want to sound.
Thank you for sharing that. Now, you spoke about all of the different programs that the Capri is offering currently through the Best Buy Teen Tech Center. You talked about the drone class that is to come. Can you talk to us a little bit about that? I know people have started to realize their neighbors have drones. There's drones flying over, taking pictures over by the Mississippi River, the Boone Island area, doing a lot of things. So I saw not too long ago, and I was like, I wonder what's going on with that. So to hear that you guys are doing some programming around that, it's pretty exciting. Can you share with the public a little bit more about that?
Absolutely. So a lot of youth that have been coming in have been asking, like, we're interested in like drones, right? And being a new program, this is kind of something that we're implementing. Like I said, sometimes we have programs coming in to do a variety of things, but this time they wanted to do drones. And so we're contracting an organization called Create Minneapolis. They're located in Minneapolis, and they are coming in to provide drones for our youth to use and iPads so they can control them. And they're going to set up like drone courses for them to like practice and like learn how to operate them and learn what they can do, and actually educate them on how to like enter in tournaments or even make a career out of it or get licensed on it and things like that. And that is happening at the end of this month, which is May. Right now, and I had to lock it in with the youth that we have already, so we have about 6, but I can do up to 10 youth if I wanted to. So if there's any youth that want to like do it, I only have 4 more spots left.
4 more slots, you guys. 4 more slots if you're interested.
I only have 4 more slots left. So, and that's because of the demand that wanted. They said we can do up to, I think they said like 25 youth if we had that many, but only like maybe 6 solid youth wanted to do it. So I said only these 6, and they were like, cool, we'll do it under 10 session. Right. And so that's how that happened. So they're gonna come in at the end of the month. I want to say the last Monday of this month. I can't remember the exact date, but it's the last Monday of this month, and they're gonna come in and teach these youth how to use drones and how to fly them. And they're gonna set up a course, and they're gonna do some racing. I'm excited just probably as much as the youth are, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to be learning a little bit more too. Of course, I know how to use drones. We have drones at the Capri, but this is kind of like a more like a professional way to
more operate. Advanced program.
Yeah, like I'm not a racer. I just know how to do a commercial, right? But they're going to teach how to like actually use a drone and everything that you can use it for. So I'm gonna be there.
I know that's right. I'm gonna stay too. Now I don't know how to fly a drone, but I'm like, I would love to see some of the things that I create and the kids from the program are gonna actually turn out once their sessions are complete.
Right.
Can you let the public know how best they can connect if they want to be a part of anything that is going on at the Best Buy Capri Tech Center, Teen Tech Center?
Yes, the best way is to email me. I don't know if you want me to give my email.
Please.
Yeah. So my email is csmith@pcyc-mpls.org, and just email me with your interest, and if you have any questions, any youth that are interested, we will make an appointment and we'll go through, and I'll take you through a tour through the tech center and of the building and tell you everything that we have to offer and run through like the rules and the policies and whatnot. And if you agree to them and I agree to them, then with their parents' permission or guardian's permission, then
You're able to participate.
Yeah, you're able to participate, exactly.
There are so many cool programs as well as initiatives going forth at the Capri Theater now that they've revamped so much stuff over there. So if you haven't been over in a long time, I encourage you to stop by and not only look at the beautiful landscaping that they've done at the facility, but also all of the additions that they have added. It has turned out to be such a beautiful renovation.
For sure.
And I think it's going to be a jewel of the community. It has been for a very long time, but I think it's going to step up a lot more than it has.
I think so too, and we haven't even, after the reopening, we haven't even been open for a year after that. So, and there's so many plans that are, you know, in the works right now for how we're gonna get the community involved and, you know, just outreach, things like that. So it's a very exciting time, especially with the summer coming up.
That's what I was thinking about with school about to end and kids looking for not only programming and parents trying to find solid organizations that their kids can plug into throughout the summer. And my thought immediately was the Capri Theater's got some stuff going on. So thank you for joining me today, Chuck. It's been really, really interesting to hear about not only your journey through tech, but also the work that you guys have been going on with your partnership with Best Buy as well as I Create. Thank you for joining me today.
Oh, no problem. Thank you for having me.
That is all the time we have here today for another episode of Community Connections. As always, I am your host. I want to thank Chuck Smith and the team over at the Capri Theater and the Best Buy Teen Tech Center for all of their resources and knowledgeable information today. I hope that something I've shared today has been educational, informative, or inspiring to you. Thank you and stay tuned.